Back to Hannity's over the weekend. Well, members of a youth football team from outside of St. Louis, they took a knee during the national anthem in protest. Now, I want to make something very clear. I'm not attacking kids. They were like 8, 9 years old. They're innocent in all of this. But I do have questions for their coaches, the parents. Have you told these children what makes America great? Or do you talk about what makes America a horrible place? Do you talk about all the men and women that sacrifice blood, sweat, tears, and death and sacrifice for their freedoms? And why are they doing this? Joining us now with reaction, former Congressman, Fox News contributor Dennis Kucinich, and the host of the hit show, #1 on weekends, Justice, with Judge Jeanine Pirro. Dennis, is America fundamentally a good and great country? Fundamentally, is it a good and great country?
Yes, I love the country. I mean, you know, I wouldn't take a knee for a Star-Spangled Banner, but, you know, it is constitutionally protected free speech.
No issues with what is free speech and not free speech. That's not what I'm asking. Has America been a country that, in the wisdom of our framers and founders, they put in place a system where we correct wrongs, correct injustices, make a more perfect union? Is that fair?
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, I always keep a copy of the Constitution with me because I think that this is our guide, and in times of trouble, we can go to it. And I think that when you have young people who are involved in nonviolent, constitutionally protected protests, that's not a bad thing. And you have to go back to the civil rights movement. Dr. Martin Luther.
These kids look pretty young to me. I don't know their exact ages, but they look young enough for me that I don't think they're fully versed in America's good and bad, but I'd say mostly good.
Sean, these kids are 8 years old for the most part. The coach says he took advantage of a teaching moment to talk to these kids when they asked about what was going on in St. Louis. Now, he then circles the team. He tells them, one of the kids says, well, this is because blacks are being killed by cops and the cops don't go to jail, right? The coach brings them all around and says, okay, so if you want to take a bended knee. The teaching moment was when this coach should have said, this is a country where we respect the flag and the Star-Spangled Banner. And if he wanted to make it a teaching moment, how about talk about law and justice and authority and respect? And unless you want to dissect that trial, took the words out of my mouth, unless you want to dissect the trial and explain to them about justification and a jury verdict, then, you know, you shouldn't let them do it, period.
I wonder, and this was my thought, Dennis. I just sat there, I was watching the kids, watched the video. I saw it on Fox and Friends this morning. I was thinking to myself, do the kids know how many other Americans fought, bled, died, sacrificed for, you're right, their constitutional right to take that knee? I kind of suspect if I asked them, a lot of them wouldn't know. And then it goes to me, it goes to that coach, and it goes to the parents. And fundamentally, are they serving these kids well by not explaining the full context and texture of the country before they act in a way that I would argue they probably didn't know completely what they were doing?
Well, you know, I've thought about this, and I was rereading Dr. Martin Luther King's book, written in '64, Why We Can't Wait. And in it, he talks about young people, children, being involved in the civil rights movement. And I see this as an expression. I think that you and the judge are 100% right in terms of we need to teach children about our country and its history and the people who sacrificed for it. But
do you agree with me they probably don't know?
I don't know. I have to tell you, there's some pretty sharp children out there who
come on.
kind of
Look,
follow
here's
things.
the bottom line. You know what? The right to protest and the right to freedom of speech, the right to assemble, that's wonderful. I want to teach the kids that, too. Civil rights, we got to teach our kids that. But not as it goes against the symbolism of the Star-Spangled Banner, the American flag, and everything we stand for, the justice system, authority, right and wrong, law and order. When you juxtapose those two, it's a different game. It ain't a teaching moment then.
All right. Thank you both for being with us. Passionate debate. When we come back, by the way, quick programming note. Justice, Judge Jeanine, never want to miss it. Saturday night, 9 p.m.